here at Main Street Recreation Reserve. St. Mary's lead this encounter by 23 points. It's Coulson getting the first tap, and then another tap from the bar gets that one forward. McGibbon off the ground with a bouncing ball that enters inside 50, and then a couple of them spill it, but it'll be Natoli who clears it, although not too efficiently. Trying to get onto this one is Liberatore, but it's going to be out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Well, one change that has happened, we spoke about it at quarter time. Michael Latang inside forward 50 for Thomastown in this third quarter. So looks like just getting more options inside forward 50 and trying to get some scores on the ball. It's needed if they're going to have any chance of playing finals footy this year. As ball thrown back up in the middle on forward 50 for St. Mary's. A quick kick out, but the relieving mark is taken by Darrow on the last line of defence, and he'll send one to the outer side. There's a hold in there, but no, umpire didn't see that one. Hanlon's taken the mark and go the short kick over the head of Bokit, and LaPiccolo's going to take the mark.
And he wants to get things moving quickly, does LaPiccolo. Takes a bounce in his defensive 50. He's got a man outside that he gives the hands off to. He's got options now. Padula's one of them, and that's where he'll go. He takes the mark. He also wants to move it quickly. Here is Latang, who had to contend with the sun for a moment, but he takes the mark, and then he'll complete the chain, and he gets it all the way to Lucenti, but he's still centre wing broadcast side. This is much better build up here. Hayes with a nice, good mark. In fact, it is Jolly who sells the candy, and then he chips it towards half forward, and Latang gets back there, and now this is a gettable shot here for the Bears.
Great work rate from Latang. He was able to work his backside off to get to the wing, get that mark, and then work even harder to get in the pocket to be an option for Jolly. I excuse him if he misses this. Tough angle, and he's going to be knackered from that work rate, but really well done by him.
Here's Latang then, tight on the boundary. Will kick from just inside the paint of 50. It's a low floating ball. That got all the way to the line, I reckon. It's a goal. Wow, that fooled everybody, but it snuck its way through, and it is the perfect start for Thomastown as they look to reduce this margin. They are 5-4-34, St. Mary's 7-9-51, and Latang's moved to the forward line, working a treat already, Zach.
It sure is, and I think it's mainly based off, that's a tall forward working really hard up the ground and then back, which is making it a little bit hard for St. Mary's to find a matchup to go with him when it comes to the aerobic capacity-wise. So really well done from Latang, and let's see if he can do that more this quarter.
So ball back up in the middle. Coulson gets a tap down, follows his own work, but McGibbon's able to take clean possession. Sends a kick towards forward 50. One-on-one contest here. The Thomastown defender does really well to take the ball and shrug the tackle. Was D'Angelo. Gets the kick forward. Dib just paddles it in front of himself and takes off. Gets the handball over to a teammate in Lucenti, or Curry, sorry. Shrugs a tackle and wheels around onto the right boot. Jolly's flying, but going back with the flight, doing well. The St. Mary's defender brings it to ground, and a tackle is laid. So will be a stoppage about 60 around from the Thomastown goal. The energy's picked up at this place.
It certainly has. That, by the way, was Michael Latang's first goal since back in round 9. So maybe vital for him as Hanlon gets the clearing kick for the Borough, and then the man in front, but dropping the mark was Kitchell. Here comes LaPiccolo now. Chance here for Thomastown through Dib, just on the boundary line. Sends it to the Lucenti direction. He almost grabbed that mark. The Borough with the numbers will clear it away. No! A free kick goes Thomastown's way. Not officiating umpire called a hold. And Thomastown's leading goal kicker, James Lucenti, can make it 4 consecutive goals for Thomastown and suddenly make this margin just 11 points.
That's unbelievable. You think the halftime huddle, they think that they've got a half a footy to play for the season, but all of a sudden they come out with a couple of goals early. You'd assume Lucenti will put this one through. There's a lot of energy building, and you never know what can happen if they put in their best footy, Thomastown. So Lucenti on a slight ankle is just going to send this one just off the right side of the boot. So another minor score for the Bears, 5-5-35, the home side trailing St. Mary's 7-9-51.
The last thing they need in front of goals is the Yips now. That's not ideal. Lucenti's still goalless in this game. He's kicked 2 behinds now, but still great signs for Thomastown. It'll be cleared away here by Young. That's a booming kick again towards centre wing outer side. A couple of flies, including Jolly. Dib almost won the footy. McGibbon instead gets this ball inside 50. D's got a favourable one-on-one, but well done there to Zakua. Takes a really good mark. Handball's off to D'Angelo now. He's going to send it through the middle of the ground. Bouncing ball, it's punched away here. Chance for Lachlan Reid. He's going to win the ball back here. Handball over to Kitchell. Completes it over to Cooper Bruce, who is a bit undecided, but he gets inside to Dean. Got hands onto it. Coming in, though, is Corelli. Got the handball away to Waite. And a great tackle from Waite. Chance here for Jeremiah Antipas. That was a very late call from the umpire.
Incorrect disposal. It was the right call, though. He had enough time, enough prior opportunity, and got tackled before he disposed of it. So, desperation from the Thomastown defenders. And it will be Sebastian Jarrow who will have the free kick on the last line of defence. He's going to go up or down the line, and Padula's the target. He takes the mark.
I think that wind is now going to the end that St. Mary's are kicking, as that kick was held up in the wind to Padula.
So he just can't see anything that he likes. So just going to go with a long high ball down the wing. Jolly standing under it. Two St. Mary's defenders go up to spoil it. McGibbon's at the bottom of that pack. Snaps one in the Corelli direction, but Sakura takes the relieving mark. Again, just can't see anything. St. Mary's defenders zoning off well as Janev at the fall of that ball gets the handball to Dib. Takes a bounce and runs into the centre square. Fakes a handball and eventually does get one over the top. But the second handball is intercepted, and now St. Mary's with a chance to go inside forward 50. Antipas is there, sticks one hand at it, brings it down to ground. He's got three Thomastown defenders to contend with. Eventually gets a handball over the top to Waite. He's tackled. Handball over to Hanlon, who's dispossessed in the tackle. D'Angelo's there. He handballs out to LaPiccolo, who will run out of defence for the Bears and get a kick, and Shannon Ball will take the mark on defensive side of centre wing.
He's just going to chip this one short to Jolly. Now Jolly's got a heap of space in front of him. He's going to power this in. No, opts to go for a lower ball. Good hit too. Lacenti now on the paint of the boundary. Sends it into the middle of inside 50. He's got a couple of chances, and it's Curry who takes the mark inside 50. And Thomastown are starting to turn the momentum of this game. And it's going to be Curry who's going to have a chance for goal number 15 in season 2024. You're right, Zach. That wind really now blowing to the left of your radio dial, which means this is going to be a tough kick for Curry, who, while he's in front, distance here might be a bit of an issue. He will kick from about 40 metres out. Curry starts his approach now. No angle to speak of. Is that going to come back? It's missed to the left-hand side. So two straight behinds for Thomastown. They move to 5-6-36. St. Mary's at 7-9-51. The margin is now reduced to 15 points. And it will be Young again, who's opting to go towards the outer side here. He's pretty much ran his full measure there. Very, very long kick towards the attacking side of the wing. And at the back of the pack, it's a chance here for the Borough. The handball works, and they get a ball inside 50, and it works for Nick Dean, who's on his own. The captain plays on and misses to the near side.
Seems like
Borough blow a big opportunity there.
No one can make sense of this wind at Main Street Recreation Reserve. It's swirling all about as Nick Dean, you'd expect him, maybe just rushed it. Thought he had more space and sent that one through from behind. So 16 points the margin, 8.5 minutes gone, third quarter. And as we said earlier in the broadcast, Thomastown are going to need a win by around 5 goals if they're any chance to play finals this season. So they're going to need a big comeback here. There's a ball out of defence, can't find a target. Latang's flying. Kouri's at the bottom of that pack, snaps one forward in the Jolly direction, or the Coulson direction, sorry. And eventually finds its way out of bounds and will be thrown back in.
Remember, only one less player as well for Thomastown, with Michael Tobacco out for the remainder of this game. Yep. So they'll be testing their complete limits here for sure, as McGibbon instead taken off him by Coulson, but it'll be cleared here by Corelli of St. Mary's. He goes towards half forward. Good spore from D'Angelo. Natoli spent it before he earned it. Dambrowskis. Chance here again for the Borough. They go inside, getting a hand onto it with Liberatore. Still a chance here for Bocat. Got it over now to Lockie Potter. Potter inside 50. Great intercept mark coming from Thomastown, and getting him on the boot quickly is Darrow, who finds Padula, who goes towards the outer side. It's Liberatore, defensive half of the wing on the outer side. He's going to go short. Dangerous kick. Didn't get there in time, did Jolly. Now St. Mary's win the ball back. And anti-pass marks just outside 50. He senses the urgency. Very, very high long ball. 2-on-1 in favour of Thomastown. Dambrowskis did get hands onto it. D'Angelo, he clears it away for Thomastown. That one hangs in the air. Should be okay. And he's okay for Cognetto. He plays on now. Chipping ball should be all right as well for his teammate. Dibb drops a sitter. Has time to recover. Spins around. He's going to handball to a standing Coulson. He has to get it off. He gets it back to Dibb, who kept running. Dibb takes a bounce centre wing broadcast side. Fakes one way. Now over to Jolly, who's right on the boundary line. Good defensive pressure from St. Mary's. And now the ball is killed out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Now we'll have a ball in about between wing and half forward for Thomastown.
Still did well, the Bears, to be able to get it from all the way their last goal line in a 2-on-1, find their way up towards a stoppage in their forward 50. It's much better than what they were able to do in that first half.
So ball thrown back into play. McGibbon gets the tap down, but Dibb does the roving and gets a high tackle. I think he got the original tackle. They got driven into McGibbon, who just unfortunately got him slightly high. So Dibb making his mark on this game in this third quarter and just taking a moment to settle before he takes his kick. 50-metre penalty has been paid. So this will make it a certainty for Thomastown and will bring the margin back to 10 points. Yusuf Dibb, he's got one goal so far today. He said he's having a belting season. He's been in the best in 13 straight matches for this Thomastown side. And from the goal line, we'll send it through for his second of the day. Thomastown's 6th. 6-6-42 the home side, trailing St. Mary's. 7-10-52 now. And all of a sudden, that final spot doesn't look so far out of reach as it did midway through the second term.
Especially now, because if the win stays like this, they kick with it in the final term as the margin reduces to 10 points. Yusuf Dibb is having a say in this quarter, Zach.
He sure is. It was that 1-2 where with Coulson, where he found himself in a bit of trouble after dropping that mark uncontested. Bounced back, got the handball off to his ruckman. The work rate to get the ball back was how Thomastown were able to move that ball forward along the outside. Rewards himself with a second goal, and they're back within 10.
4 straight goals now for Thomastown. Now to Burrow looking to clear it away. It's Capici who gets boot to it. Half forward now is the ball Thomastown's way. Bounced it in favour of anyone except Chioki. Gedge gets the 1-2 and then he clears his lines. They go towards half forward now themselves. Do to Burrow. Hanlon doing really well in that contest. Almost got the handball away. Still works here for the visitors. Chance here now for Lockie Reed. 55 out from goal. Sends it just inside. Chachita drops the mark. Still a chance here for Thomastown. Picked up again by Chachita. Handball intercepted. Anti-pass. One way. Now the other. Anti-pass. Outside of the boot. Shot on goal is missing. Behind. The Borough are now 7-11-53. Thomastown are 6-6-42. The margin has got to 11 points. It has not been this close since the opening term.
It certainly hasn't. And D'Angelo on the kick in for Thomastown, really applying the pressure in this third quarter. What do St. Mary's have as a response? D'Angelo just going to go with a long kick down the ground. Coulson's leading up to it. Dean uncharacteristically drops that mark, brings it to ground, and it's going to be a big pack of players on top of it. Sakura at the bottom of the pack.
He probably wasn't expecting to drop so short. That's maybe why he did drop that mark in the end.
No, still adjusting to this wind, both sides. Coulson gets the tap down to Letang. He can't take clean possession. Green can, though. Weaves in and out of the St. Mary's defenders. Gets a kick to Padula, who will mark it true centre half back. Just gets a short kick over the top and does find Liberatore. He's pushed as he kicked, but gets it inside forward. 50 Dibb's there. A big collision. Dibb back up to his feet, which is good to see. And eventually the pack is there. And umpire just going to call for it. He was shaping up to call holding the ball, I agree, but didn't call it. And it will be a ball up inside forward 50 for Thomastown. Jolly going up against McGibbon. Jolly tapped down. And a quick snap out of that contest forward for Thomastown. It finds its way in the hands of Ben Hailwood, and he's caught high. So reprieve for St. Mary's, and they'll have it on the last line of defence, Ben Hailwood.
So Ben Hailwood, who 22 years of age, of course. He's still one of the youngsters, although, as we said, Corelli, of course, the youngest player on the ground. They get it outside to centre wing out of side. Great standing mark taken by Coulson. So Coulson will grab this footy, and Thomastown really turning the momentum in this game. Coulson with a very high ball now towards half forward. The sun to contend with as well for many players. Dib at ground levels. So is Lucenti, and umpire will call for it. We are 15 minutes into the opening term. Into the third term. St Mary's lead by 11 points, but Thomastown have kicked the last 4 consecutive goals. Tap incoming, another stoppage incoming as well. An interesting time of the game. The margin got out to as much as 35 points by the Borough. Coulson, Latang almost grabbed it out of the middle, but it'll be cleared by Halewood, although not a great kick. Liberatore takes the mark. Liberatore is still 65 out from goal.
Found a bit of the footy in this third quarter as Liberatore.
He has. Assesses his options now towards the pocket. And is that a mark taken? No, not quite. Umpire says play on. Ball hobbling around. Spills out to space where the Borough have the numbers, albeit not efficient. Latang wins it back. Very high ball. Dib under it. Dib! Yes! Dib takes the mark. And he'll look for a third goal to make this a 5-point ball game. Man on the mark, 40 out from goal. Dib's killing it in his quarter now, Zach.
He has, and it's a bit of a mix of being up forward and being dangerous, or even going into the midfield and being a helping hand around stoppages and bursting out of there. Same goes for Green. Their ability to burst from stoppage, just when it looks like St Mary's are going to keep it congested and tight. It's players like Green and Dib, who's about to go for his third, who are opening it up for Thomastown.
Dib from just inside 50. He's got the win to contend with. That's a great-looking kick. Here come Thomastown. The margin is now 5 points. 7-6-48 the Bears. St Mary's 7-11-53. We're 16 and a half gone third quarter. And if it keeps going like this, my calculator's probably going to have to come back out. Because the Bears are charging home strongly.
And you might be able to hear it in the effects mic faintly as the crowd is up and about. There's literally a truck full of Thomastown supporters on the outer side cheering the team on as this match rolls on and they get so much closer. It is within a kick for the first time, I think it has to be since the first quarter. Yep. Coulson brings the ball to ground in the ruck contest. Latang's in there trying to rove it. He's tackled by Gedge. And it will be a secondary stoppage inside the centre circle. Coulson taps down to Janev. Bursts out of the stoppage. Gets the kick on the left boot. Inside forward 50. Falling to ground is Dib. Can't take the mark. But it's still going to be held in there by the Bears. And it will be a stoppage inside forward 50 for Thomastown. Lucenti at the bottom of that pack. And now Coulson and McGibbon resume their ruck contest. McGibbon does well to get that tap down. Waite brings it to ground. Tries to get a kick out. But it is going to be thrown up once again. So Thomastown applying all the pressure in this third quarter. And a chance to take the lead here. McGibbon taps down to Waite, who gets a handball off to a teammate. Now a quick kick forward, but a diving mark. A slips catch taken by D'Angelo. And he's going to look to move it on quickly. A long high kick. Mark almost taken. The free kick has been paid for chopping the arms. And it will be Jolly with the kick. Man on the mark, standing 2 or 3 metres inside the boundary line. You can hear that truck full of Thomastown supporters getting a bit louder on the wing. Willing this one through for Nick Jolly. He's kicked 790 goals in his long footballing career. He's kicked one today. And will line up, sends this one on its way. Fading out to the right-hand side. The St Mary's defenders try to punch it through, but it's gone out of bounds, so it will be thrown in and give Thomastown another chance on goal.
5 points the difference. We are close to time on. Boundary throwing deep inside 50 for Thomastown. Ball gets tossed up. Tap coming from McGibbon. Trying to spin his way out is Bianchin. Just lost the footy, but dispose of it correctly. It will be cleared by the bar, albeit that one smothered. Now is Lucenti. Umpire says holding the footy. Did have prior opportunity there, but did not dispose of it. Oh, it's going to be reversed.
Yeah.
It's going to be reversed, and something the Borough cannot afford to be doing now is losing their cool. I think it was Chiocchi that's given away that footy, and now James Lucenti's got a chance to put Thomastown in front. He's going to play on here, senses the space in front of him. He's actually going to send this one to the top of the goal square.
Oh, Mark.
Goal, and Jolly boots it through. And incredibly, they've kicked 5 straight, the Bears, and they are in front. 8-6-54. St. Mary's are 7-11-53. Zach, this has been an incredible turnaround from the Thomastown Footy Netball Club.
It has, and Chioki better be careful because he's in a bit of a scuffle with, I think it's Curry and Lucenti in the forward 50. They don't want to give another one away the Borough because Thomastown have all the momentum. They've unbelievably kicked 5 goals now to only 2 behinds this quarter. It's their pressure, it's their energy around the contest, which has been from the very, very start of this quarter and the back end of that second quarter like we're speaking of. The momentum's all theirs. Anything could happen now.
As Coulson gets the tap down, Janev's going to find this one. Runs into his own teammate. Can't take clean possession. Janev trying to take 2 of them with him. Gets a kick out to Latang. Takes the mark. And has there been a free kick paid or isn't a mark?
It is. Yep.
It is a mark, so Latang's going to have it. Man on the mark standing on the paint of 50 metres. And Latang has it and looks like he's going to have a shot on goal. He's moving quickly, so might just shape one to the top of the goal square. Either way, takes the kick now, sends it long, sends it high. Lucenti's there. McGibbon's there for St. Mary's, trying to take the relieving mark. Gets it paddled down. And Halewood is in there for St. Mary's. And eventually the umpire does call for it in the forward pocket. And a free kick has been paid against St. Mary's. And it's Lucenti once again. And I think it's Giocci who's done it again for St. Mary's, giving away that free kick. Tension's boiling over here. And it will be another shot on goal for James Lucenti. And he'll have a chance to extend this margin to 7 points for the home side. So just not what St. Mary's needed with the game on the line here. And 50 metres has been paid.
Wow.
So Lucenti will put this one through for his first of the day. He's kicked 2 behinds previously, but drew the free kick which set up the last one and will kick this one from point blank range. And does send it through. And the Thomastown crowd really getting into this one now. It's a 7-point margin here at Main Street Recreation Reserve. Thomastown 9-6-60. St. Mary's 7-11-53. Nicholas Sacco, that calculator is getting an almighty workout right now.
Oh, it certainly
22 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter.
No, it's incredible what Thomastown have been able to do. They are slowly getting this margin back into their favour. As you said, the margin is now 7 points, and well, we could be in for a grandstand finish. We know that these sides have a lot of history at the moment. As the ball gets tossed up back in the middle, it's Coulson that thumps it away. Curry can get there, but Latang gets there first. Gives the don't argue to Hanlon. Back to LaPiccolo. LaPiccolo snaps this one inside 50. Jolly can't get there in time. Big carnage. Chance here for Dib. Dib runs past his opponent, but he dribbles it. There's a goalkeeper on the line, and it's touched through.
Just had to do the simple drop punt. Just keep it in the air.
Running away from goal. I don't think he had the option for a drop punt there.
Margin's 8 points now. 9-7 plays 7-11.
So Ben Young's going to have it for this St. Mary's side. Just a cool, calm head in defence.
That's what they need.
And he's just going to send a long bomb to the outer side here for the Borough. D'Angelo might have taken another mark, or has a free kick been paid? Neither. The umpire just called for it. D'Angelo almost taking another spectacular mark, diving to ground. Coulson taps it forward in the Curry direction. Can't take clean possession. Eventually paddles it over the top, and Shannon Ball's going to take this one over the boundary line for a throw in front of that scoreboard, which all of a sudden, it's 8 points the margin in favour of Thomastown.
2.7% is now the difference between these two teams with this 8-point margin. As we get back going and Thomastown look to clear their lines again. Capichi's trying to get through everything possible, but he gives up the footy. Halewood, his handball not great. Didn't bounce well for Coulson, though. Here comes McGibbon as well down the other end. Ball will be held up. So we are 24 and a half minutes gone third quarter. The margin is 8 points. Of course, Lord Plenty look like they're getting the job done over Panton Hill, which means the Bears are going to have to still find some more goals to be in finals contention. Umpire hovers and will allow for a secondary stoppage. 2.7%.
So what's the margin needed then?
Well, I'm not that good at
Okay.
maths.
Okay.
But St. Mary's, they do have the ball in possession, defensive side of centre wing, out of side. They're looking towards the weight direction. It gets off hands. I think the umpire's going to say that was on the full. Of course, no boundary umpire there on the outer side. So it will be Thomastown that win possession of the footy. They're going to go down the line here. High ball to contend with. Here's Dean. He's marked. Not taken, though. Latang almost got the handball away to a teammate, but it's a Borough that exit through the back of the pack. They'll send it towards half forward themselves. Getting hands onto it was Hatsis. They wanted to push in the back. Hanlon now. He has to get back in the game. Potter, his handball intercepted. Now Janev. They have to go backwards to go forwards here. Thomastown looping handball. Dangerous for D'Angelo. Big trouble. Got the hands away. It's all St. Mary's, though. Chance here for Antipas. Left foot shot on goal. And they get one back, the Borough. Huge finish from Jeremiah Antipas. He's second of the afternoon. It's back to a 2-point game. 8-11-59 St. Mary's. Thomastown 9-7-61. And for the first time this quarter, we saw some great pressure work from St. Mary's to get that ball in their favour.
Ultimate goal against momentum for St. Mary's. Just really able to steady after the avalanche that has come from this Thomastown side in this third quarter. It's still a 2-point margin in favour of the home team as we tick over 26 minutes gone in this third quarter. Ball back in the middle of Main Street Recreation Reserve. Coulson and McGibbon doing the ruck work. Coulson tapped down. There's a holding free kick which has been paid, and it is going to go in favour of Thomastown and in favour of Latang. Sends it inside forward 50. Couri's there. Takes it on the second bite. It's Lucenti. And he will line up for his second goal of this quarter. Second of the game as well. And a quick response for this Thomastown side.
This final term is going to be nuts.
Oh,
Yeah.
so excited.
This is what we've seen in the third quarter. I can't wait to see what happens in the final term as Lucenti, with hardly any angle to speak of, he's kicked 1 goal 2 today and set up another. Comes in off the right-hand side of the boot and will stay out that way. So it's 1-3 for James Lucenti today. It's uncharacteristically, but he's still having an impact on this game and will still be a key target inside at forward 50 for this Thomastown side as they look to run up the score and book a spot in the finals. Young has it on the kick out for St. Mary's, as we have seen for much of the day. Just going to go with a short one this time, and we'll find Bianchin, who's one of those experienced heads who look to have an impact as this game rolls on. His kick can't find a target on the full, but they do work it out of defence to St. Mary's. Eventually, it is chopped off, and Kyle Green snaps one on the right-hand side or right boot. And siren does sound for three-quarter time. So
I think Lucenti kicked that one.
this is set up for an almighty finish at three-quarter time. It's Thomastown 9-8-62, leading St. Mary's 8-11-59.